What is up? Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful day. Back here with some more Borderlands gameplay. It's real nice to get back and play this game after a little while. But unfortunately, it's not for the best of reasons. Because unfortunately, while Borderlands 4 is going to be a big title for the franchise, considering that the last few franchises have not been anywhere near as good as they should have been and have a lot to love it for, Borderlands 4 has some huge shoes to fill, and if it does not succeed, well, the franchise is going to be in deep trouble because this is kind of maybe its last straw. I mean, personally, Borderlands 2 is a game that I honestly might be my most played video game of all time. It's definitely a top 10 video game for me. I mean, I was basically an addict of Borderlands 2. And while Borderlands 3 came out, I didn't love it nowhere near as much as 2. It's still a solid game, but still had its problems. Definitely in the story and character department, especially with one specific character, but I'm not going to name them for my own sanity. But if you know, you know. And then Wonderlands did the whole amazing thing of doing something I've never had in my life playing video games, where it actually basically made it so I didn't want to play games for like about 2.5 months. Like the biggest hiatus I ever went playing games, period, in my entire life, because it just kind of pissed me off and kind of broke me in a way, so kind of an amazing feat there. So Borderlands 4 has a lot to live up to. So you would think, it showing a little bit of gameplay earlier, and it looks solid, but once again, it's one of those things where I won't know until I get out there and play. I still think it'll be a solid game, but unfortunately, being a solid game just isn't good enough. It needs to be an amazing game to, make amends to what the last few titles have done to the franchise, including the fans who have I was being put off, especially after that movie last year. But unfortunately, one person who he just cannot get this through his head that he is not helping the situation and he is the exact opposite and hurting it. And that is, unfortunately, RandyPitchford. And RandyPitchford, obviously the head of Gearbox. And let me tell you something. If there was a PR class grade, he failed that miserably because, oh my goodness, when you don't have self-actualization or self-realization and realize, like, how bad you are to something, it's really not a good thing for the rest of the group, but it's like, dog, like, can you read the room? But if you don't know what happened, so basically one of the big things going on this year is games being pushed to a higher price than ever before, obviously, with when the Nintendo dropped, and they were talking about, Mario World being $80, and we're already looking at possibly GTA 6 might be $100. That's not confirmed, just speculation. And other games, they're going to join the $80 fund and stuff like that. And someone was asking, a fan was asking basically to Randy, hey, please don't sell Borderlands 4 for $80. And so what did RandyPitchford respond? At first he said it's not his call. And granted, it is not his call. It's obviously not Gearbox's call. It's obviously the publisher's call and how much they want to sell all that stuff for. So granted, he has no say on the matter. But what he said after it just reeks of, I'm not understanding the situation at all. I can't read the room, and I just don't know when to just put my foot in my mouth and shut up. Because this just is not going to put people in a good mood anyway. So he basically replied, if you're a real fan, you'll find a way to make it happen. My local game store had Starflight for Sega Genesis for $80 in 1991 when I was just out of high school working minimum wage in an ice cream parlor in Pismo Beach, and I found a way to make it happen. End quote. Randy, for goodness sakes, listen, I want to play a little bit of devil's advocate here, but it's still not looking good. Yes, I understand that certain fans can be assholeless. I get it. I'm also a fan of stuff, so I understand and I get it. Alright, I try not to take these things all personal. They are just games, entertainment, etc., etc., etc. But the thing is, you can't insult the customer like that and expect the customer to come back and be like, you know what? Yeah, I'll drop all this money because I'm a real fan. So if someone didn't happen to have enough money to buy it at that time, or maybe they didn't want to buy it personally, they wanted to wait for a sale, or maybe just there's too many other games going on, because that could be a problem too. Like, I guess they're not real fans then. Like, come on, buddy. And by the way, look at how the economy is right now. Like, yeah, it's not the easiest thing in the world to just be dropping $80 on games. Not to mention, if you're kind of new to Borderlands, you know that it's not just going to be the main game. You're going to have DLC with at least, season passes used to be like $50. I don't know if they're going to go up now because as I said, it's a new age of games and stuff. So who knows how much that costs. So you're talking, if the game is going to be sold for $80, whatever, 70, 80, whatever it is, but you're going to have that. Then you're going to have the season pass. That's not something people just are going to be all easy. Oh, we're just going to drop it down and stuff. Not to mention, the cost of consoles or going up and stuff like that. Like, it's just, you just don't say stupid stuff like this. But of course, I shouldn't be surprised. None of us are surprised. If you know Randy, none of us are surprised by it. It's just, I guess we're just more applauded by how stupid can you be. Because this is the same guy who had his old magic flash drive. And if you know, you know. If you don't know, consider yourself lucky. And hopefully you never find out. Because that's just really disturbing and creepy. But yeah, Randy just... And then, of course, his old Damage Control with the movie last year, which was not a very good movie. Granted, I didn't think it was the worst thing in human history, because when you see a lot of movies, you see a lot of movies, but it wasn't good, trust me. It didn't have too many things that were worthwhile. I mean, how do you have a Borderlands movie about, the loot? For goodness sakes, I'm not even going into the story and characters, but yeah, Borderlands with no loot. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, but yeah, Randy just seems to just be a really awkward, out-of-touch individual that just cannot understand a simple lesson of just shut the hell up. Like, seriously, Randy, maybe you don't understand this, but this is do or die, sink or swim moment here for the franchise. Like, I'll put it to you this way. I was so into Borderlands 2. If you would have told me during my Borderlands 2 days, I'd be at a point where I'm just not too interested in the next Borderlands, I'd swear you had to be lying, but that's where we are right now. And then, yes, I will ultimately play and get Borderlands 4 now as they really fall off a cliff between here and its release. But my point being is that I'm not as nowhere near into it as I used to be. It's just kind of like, but it's gotten so bad with Randy. And this is a sad thing I'm going to say. I can't believe I'm even going to say this. And I hope not. Granted, I'm not hoping this game is bad. Don't take me the wrong way. Don't misquote me. But I almost got a side of me, a small side of me, that is kind of wants the game to ultimately fail and fall flat on its back. Just from the standpoint that maybe I'll just boot this man out of his position and get him out of there. Because I feel like this franchise is never going to get better as long as he's running the show in his position, unfortunately. Because he's a part of the problem. He's a major problem. It's kind of like, Jerry Jones with the Dallas Cowboys. As long as he's there, I don't think that team will ever just thrive because he's always going to get in the whole team group's way, but he's so egotistic he can't see it and refuses to let off the reins. And that's kind of how I see Randy here. He just doesn't quite understand it. He doesn't quite get it. And maybe he does get it. His ego will never let him to, because he has a huge ego. And honestly, I feel like the way he acts, I feel like he thinks Borderlands is real, and he's acting amongst the real world the way like a Borderlands character works. But unfortunately, that's a game, buddy. This is the real world, and you got to be smarter than that. Like, this game has a lot riding on it, and it could be a solid game, but these comments are going to push people away. Push people away and be like, who wants to be buying stuff from this a-hole who just says, hey, real fans will make it happen. It doesn't matter how much it costs. Real fans will make it happen and stuff. Everyone's situation and circumstances are different, Randy, and you can't assume that people are going to just pull up a big truckload of money depending on their life situations and just drop it like it's hot. Like, no, it's not how it works, okay? And some people might be able to do it and some people won't, but some people might not want to after this, just thinking how arrogant you are. Like, I'll never understand this from these CEO types. It's like, if you want to prioritize making money, why would you make comments like this? Just be cool. You can be generic as hell, but just don't do anything stupid. Don't say stupid stuff that's going to piss off fans, piss off people. I mean, fans are still pissed off from your last few entries, and now you're saying comments like this, just showing your arrogance. Like, just shut the hell up. That's all you got to do. Just run the show, keep your head down, be smart, and just shut your mouth. Because everything you say is just, when do you say something that we just say, oh, it's just a normal day? Well, I guess, let me rephrase that, because a normal day for him is an abnormal day for everyone else. But when is it time where you say something and we're just like, yeah, he says something that was normal, decent, I could follow along that. I get it, understand it. Just, man, whoever's the PR guy over there needs to find a new line of work, because it's just not working. Because, man, it's just, And these CEOs, they keep putting their foot in their mouth. They keep losing money, and they just wonder, why. They said they're all confused, like, why? Well, what do you think? Put yourself in our shoes, Randy. Like, honestly, put yourself in the fan's shoes and act like, and pretend we're you and we're doing this to you. Like, yeah, you wouldn't like that very much. But of course, when he's got, I'm not even going to look up how much he makes and stuff, but he probably makes his own big boatloads of money himself. You kind of wonder if he even cares, because he just seems, as I said, out of touch and just out of line with what's going on in gaming today. So, as I said before, you are a member of this channel and you're not a big Borderlands fan. I obviously cover a lot of Resident Evil, and I'm usually one to be kind of critical of the Capcom. I do like a lot of what Capcom does, but I'm also very critical of things, especially the storytelling, how they use the characters in the Resident Evil games. And some people might be like, well, they can be really incompetent in some of that stuff. But you take that, times it by 1,000, and then some, put it in a Super Soaker and transform it, yeah, then you might get Randy. That's how bad Randy is. Randy just... What's the positive of Randy? Like, what's a good thing about Randy? What's something that Randy brings to the table that's actually good for the Borderlands franchise? Maybe at one point in the early days, Borderlands 1 and 2, he was bringing positive things, but now, last 10 years, like, what is something positive and good he's brought to the franchise, to the table? And maybe there is something I just don't know. Let me know in the comment section down below. Trust me, I'm willing to hear anything, because I just kind of try to stay far from Randy as much as hearing his weird comments, because he just, as I said, last year, damage control, about the Borderlands movie. I forget 100% what he said, but it wasn't anything good, because he said the movie was not good at all, and I don't know what he's trying to defend that movie for. Obviously, there's the flash drive. I don't want to bring that up. That's just disturbing as hell. I'm surprised criminal action wasn't taking effect there. And yeah, I just kind of get the sense that Randy does not need to be in the position he is. He does not need to be the person running the things over at Gearbox. I'm very worried with Borderlands 4. I'm very nervous about it because I love the franchise. I love Borderlands 2. I remember when I got Borderlands 1, I got it, the Game of the Year edition, 2 months before Borderlands 2 came out, and I just fell in love with that game. And then when Borderlands 2 came out in 2012, oh my goodness, it was like a drug addiction. I was an addict. I mean, I was addicted, and oh my goodness, I'm surprised my disc didn't blow up and burn, because that's how much I played that game. But I loved it. I loved the moments I shared playing with my buddies and stuff, growing up and stuff. It's just fun time, fun, great experience. And to see the franchise, what it became, now it's sad. We went from that to the Wonderlands game, basically putting me in a position where I didn't play games for 2.5 months. And now we got Borderlands 4. Can they bring it back? Well, I hope they can. Hopefully get better writers with their story and characters, because that was a big problem in 3. Obviously, I don't think the characters themselves, in terms of the playable characters, are going to be a problem. They'll probably be fun and entertaining, so that'll be good. Hopefully, they'll have dedicated drop sources with loot, in terms of having an enemy drop maybe 1, maybe 2 legendaries, not 20 plus legendaries on one enemy, which is stupid, but whatever. And hopefully they just don't make things harder just for the sake of making it harder without getting the satisfaction or reward, because that was my big problem with 3. On top of it, I just hope things run functionally, because the problem with 3 is every time they gave an update, you'd fix one thing, but you mess up 10 more things, and it got into a lag-infested nightmare there. But at the end of the day, as I always like to say, that is my opinion. I want to hear your guys' opinion. How do you feel about Randy's comments? Do you think he's just out of line, just Randy being Randy again? What is the positive of Randy? Like, seriously, I'm asking this question. What does he bring that's a positive for Borderlands? And would it just be better for the franchise if he just got kicked out? And how do you feel about Borderlands 4? Have you lost faith, or maybe you still have hope? Let me know down in the comment section down below. But thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video, and hopefully I see you guys back next one. Thanks, and I'll see you all later. Peace.